Okay, what we're going to do in this video is we are going to go through and set up Dropboxes and look at how you could potentially evaluate in a Dropbox. Okay, so a Dropbox would be where kids would go and submit assignments that they've completed electronically. Okay, so either by typing on an electronic program or scanning a document and putting it in. Okay. So the Dropbox menu in your class would hopefully be in your navigation bar, because if it's in your navigation bar, it makes it easier for the kids to access. Okay, so I would suggest putting it in there. Then what you can do is you can create a new folder. When you're creating a new folder, you're creating the folder of the assignment that you want submitted. Okay, so assignment one, introductory assignment. Okay. Now, I suggest making the assignment name the same thing that you put in the content section. It's an organizational thing, and I have found that it makes it easier for the students to navigate. Okay. If you want instructions for that specific assignment, you can put them here. I tend to put them in the outline on the content section of the course. If you need to have an attachment, you could put all those things in here. Again, I usually put these things in the content section. I save this for just the submission of the assignment. If you want to have groups, you could put groups in here. Okay. I tend to keep it in an individual assignment. That way every kid can submit it and then they can get their own individual mark easier put in there. If you want to group it, you can group by category. You could create the groups and then they would have to submit one into that group. Okay. In your file, your submission type is your file submission. If you want to limit it per one submission per user, you can. I would suggest not, because if a kid makes a mistake, they submit the wrong file by accident, then they wouldn't be able to put a second one in there. Okay. I keep them all just because it's easier to see the progress of how many that they've submitted. Notification email, if you want a notification email every single time something's submitted, you can put your notification email in here. I do not do that. The reason I do not do that is I set up my homepage of my course to have an update on when I receive a notification. Now, your categories, okay? You don't have any categories created here, okay? Categories are the units. That's what I try and do. I try and group these by units. So we're going to put unit 1 here. We're going to save it. You can create as many categories as you wish. You can make the assignment out of something, okay? What you're making out of obviously depends upon the assignment for the course and how important it is. You can do the grade items here, or you can create them in your grade section in D2L. You can learn about that in the grades tutorial that's available for you as well. If you've pre-created a grade item, then it could potentially show up in here. Okay. Or you could create your new grade item. You get what you would like. You can make it numeric. Assignment 1, introductory assignment. I don't usually give them short names. You could categorize it depending upon how you set up your categories. I'll just put it in the knowledge and understanding. I'll give it 10 points generic. Okay. If you want restrictions on this specific Dropbox, you can do it here when you set it up. So it automatically defaults here. This is the grades option of it. This isn't the Dropbox. So remember, these are for the grades. Okay. So you're not hiding the Dropbox from the users. This is related to the grades item. Okay. I don't do any of that. So I'm going to press save. It's in there. If you had predetermined rubrics, you could add a rubric. Okay. I don't have any rubrics that have been made for this course, so that's why none of them show up. You could create a rubric as you go, but if you want to use a rubric, this is where you would add the rubric. Okay? I keep these checked as well. This is the synopsis of basically what I do. Just make sure the score out of matches what's in the marks. Okay? And then you're pretty good there. Now, there's some different things, okay? In your restrictions, notice that the Dropbox automatically defaults to hide from user. So if you create one and then you get a notification from a kid and it's be like, I can't see it, it's not there, you might have not made it visible, okay? So you can check it, uncheck it as you go, okay? You could create it having a due date. So if you want to have a due date, that's perfectly fine. You could do whatever you want. It automatically goes for a week ahead. That's what the due date usually does. You can put a time on the due date. Why you would do this is because if a kid misses the due date, it will tell you inside of the Dropbox how late the assignment was, okay? I usually make my times for 11:59 p.m. So let's just do that right now. The reason is I give them to the end of the day to decide it, okay? From an availability standpoint, you could do this where the Dropbox opens up at a specific time, and then you could do that it has an end date. If you choose end date, a student will not be able to submit anything into that Dropbox after that date, okay? The due date allows for them to continually submit assignments, but it will tell you how late they are. An end date, they won't even have the ability to put anything in there, okay? I don't do anything with the special access. You can do the objectives as well if you would like, okay? And then you have a turn it in feature as well, where you could enable this and they will run the assignments through turn it in, okay? So that's up to you and how you would like to do that. When you click save and close, what will happen is you will now have a new unit and you will have the assignment folder, okay? This symbol here indicates that it is a graded option and has a grade attached to it. And then it allows you to see the due date, okay? When you get new submissions, it will tell you how many new submissions there are, how many you've evaluated, and all of that, okay? I don't have any kids in this class, so that's why I don't see any numbers there. If you go to the course home, the due date is now on the calendar, okay? So that's why I usually attach due dates. It helps from an organization standpoint. And then remember, we also did the grades option, and it is now here as well. Okay? Now, marking. Let me show you what marking looks like in this specific window. Okay, so I'm going to go to another course that has Dropbox options. Okay, so I'm going to go down here and I'm going to grab one of my assignments here. So I'm going to click in here. I'm going to do this. It identifies every student and all of the Dropbox items that they have placed in here. Okay, so when you roll down, what can happen is you can grab a student. So when you click on this, what will happen is you click on the link and then the student's assignment will show up eventually. Okay, so here's the assignment and you can scroll through. In this screen, you can't make any changes or corrections on here. You could download the student's assignment, make changes, and then give it back to them. Okay? Now, if you have a rubric, the rubric shows up in the menu. And what you can do is you can click on the rubric, and then the rubric comes up. Okay? And you can click it, boom, 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 everything there. And depending on how you set your rubric up, when you close, it will generate a mark right here. Okay? You can then type feedback in here. Okay? If you would like. the feedback the student would see in the grades menu. If you've downloaded the file and made corrections, highlights, suggestions, you could re-add the student's file here, and then they'll be able to see it. Okay? And then once you click, it says update here. The reason it says update is I've already marked this. The first time you do it, it'll click publish. Now, the good thing about marking online is once you have it all set up and you click publish, it'll automatically throw this mark into the grades in your course. Okay? But that's using Dropboxes. That's how you set them up. Again, I suggest having the same menu meaning the same name as you do inside the content section as you do, okay? You can also attach it in the content section. So let's say I'm going to Unit 1. I'll create a new file. We've done this before if you're following on. Assignment 1, introductory assignment. Okay, and you could do your overview and learning goals, and then you can do your assignment, right? And then what I usually do is I create multiple things. I could give them the rubric here, but I also you can link to the Dropbox. So when you click up here, you get this Dropbox in your menu, then you get assignment 1 introductory assignment, which is what we want. Just want to make sure it's there. I put the new window. I click insert. Once you click insert, you save and close. The kid will be able to click on that and it will take them directly to the Dropbox. Okay, so it's kind of one-stop shopping. That's another reason why I create HTML files in the content section. Okay, so that's the Dropbox. That's kind of the overview, how to look at it. If you got any questions at any point, let me know.